house, that is Bell Harbor. I bought Lennox Mall for my brother. Oh, your bag, tote the cutter. I got it out the field, fuck Russell. Going ask Laura about the paddock, and going ask Jordan, that's dead. For leak water, trying to drown a bitch. That's a habit, tricking on a bitch. Shit, I'm thinking I'm cooking a pimp. Shit, I'm cooking up dope like a dump. Shit, like her first gon' sit nigga trim. Shit, I'm floating them out in the blimp. Shit, it look like I'm swimming in glass. Shit, I turn on my bitch cause she bad. Shit, I'm making my ex nigga mad. Shit, they go for that number for man. Real nigga learn them, turn the bag. Piping a bitch and they nail like I can. Turn up the shooters with switches go bad. Stay with some scammers, but thousands of pain. Trapping no rapping, my dog ain't fall off. No capping, no bound.
What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do. You know what it is and you know where you're at.
For homicide detectives, the clock starts ticking the moment they are called.
You didn't even see it coming, probably.
It's him.
See the gun right there.
What did he do to deserve what he got?
Their chance of solving a murder is cut in half.
Got it, Kevin.
If they don't get a lead
Race to the sun right now.
within the first 48 hours.
Young out, nigga. Nigga, what you scared for? I hear your heartbeat. Pussy talking all that shit. You ain't talking no more. Cause the motherfucking killers outside your front door. And it sound like you better pray, nigga. First 48, nigga. Yeah. So tell them niggas what they scared for. We hear your heartbeat. You pussies talking all that shit. You ain't talking no more. Cause the motherfucking killers outside your front door. And it sound like you better pray, niggas. Yeah. This the first 48, niggas. Somebody call the laws. Homicide division. This young nigga gone. Hope he had the Lord with him. Where he was bumping, niggas shoulda had that pistol with it. Where he was dumping the other night, aiming twice to sit in. He shoulda been a suspect. Now his ass a victim. And everybody crying out. Damn, they so forgiving. I kept beating on his chest, thought he was a eagle. Now he looking like a gift wrapped in yellow tape. Hey. Yeah, that's wrong, but it's the way he play. And that's the way we play. The first 48, no trace, so he bumped up the cold case. Fouls, nigga, these streets wild, nigga. Plus they ain't eating, so the crime rate increasing. I just got a call, my nigga died this evening. Tonight we ride, everybody silent. Somebody better pray, nigga. First 48, nigga. Yeah. So tell them niggas what they scared for. We hear your heartbeat. You pussies talking all that shit. You ain't talking no more. Cause the motherfucking killers outside the front door. And it sound like we going in. Better pray, niggas. Hey, this the first 48, niggas. It's murder season, nigga. You better be a shooter or be a dead sleeper. Ask Freddy Krueger. These boys tripping. This shit so sizzling. Niggas falling like rain, man. This game bitch. Yeah. Swear to God, man, this ain't living. Got a Christian smoking sherm, trying to lose his spirit. Got shot trying to turn the other cheek. He still going thin, but now he roll with that heat. Now he being smart. Guess he wanna live. It's real in the field, cuz kill a big deal. I'm riding with a K like I'm killing Big Mac. I'm all in the game and I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about water, whole fucking niggas on. Pussy better shoot first, ain't taking no loss. Ain't even been a year since my best friend wait. How we retaliate? H first 48, nigga. Yeah. So tell them niggas what they scared for. We hear your heart beat. You pussies talking all that shit, you ain't talking no more. Cause the motherfucking killers outside your front door, and they sound like you better pray, niggas. Yeah, this the first 48, niggas.
It's a rap, somebody say a prayer for him. Notify his family, call someone who cared for him. It was all good about an hour ago. Now this nigga laying lifeless out on the floor. Bet when he woke up this morning, he ain't imagined that. Bet when he left the house, he thought he'll be right back. Gave his girl a kiss, told her he'll be out late. If she only knew they was on their last date. He hit the club, getting fucked up was the plan. Too many drinks had him feeling like he's Superman. Pushing through the crowd, talking out loud and reckless. But ain't too many punks down here in Houston, Texas. Ran into the wrong crew, he was like, hold up. Slow your roll before you get your ass swole up. Reach for his heat, but guess what? You're too late. There goes another candidate for first 48.
Yeah. So tell them niggas what they scared for. We hear your heart beat. You pussies talking all that shit, you ain't talking no more. Cause the motherfucker.
That's enough of that, man. That's enough of that. Enough of that. Shout out to everybody, the Bushwatchers. You know, I've been live 1,000 times today. Obviously, I'm bored, but I got to finish up this book. So, shit, y'all can stay and finish it up with me. You know, there's 48 Laws of Hustler. Yeah, you know, I do read. Shit, I definitely read. Let me see which one is it. This one. Let me see. Tripping. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, so. I think we was on chapter 12, I think. But shit, right. The shit, we'll get into it.
Ointment and the day of death than the day of one's birth. Ecclesiastes 7:1. In the movie Scarface, Tony Montana said, all I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I'm not going to break them for nobody. Those infamous words from the young Cuban immigrant was everything that the drug overlord Sosa needed to hear to place his confidence in the ambitious hustler. In life, A man is only as valuable as his word. Word is bond. Keeping your word is not something that everyone does. When someone keeps their word, it not only shows that they have upstanding character, but it defines them as a person of integrity. After all, integrity is basically doing the right thing because it's just the right thing to do. When you have it, you do it even when nobody is looking. I'm the type of person that if I tell you there's cheese on the moon, you better grab a cracker. Basically, if I say that I'm going to do something, then you can bet your ass that it's going to get done. I'm pretty certain that I maintained and made all my connections in my lifetime by keeping my word. If I'm not sure of something, I would not make a vow. I'm not going to make any broken promises, no matter how infinitesimal it may seem. Some people may find it a difficult task to keep it real with others to this extent because they have not yet learned to keep it real with themselves. If you want to keep your word with others, you must first keep your word with yourself. You cannot go through life lying to yourself about what you will and won't do and think that it won't have an impact on your success. Many times we tell ourselves that we will do something and don't do it and feel it's okay to break our word because nobody will know but us. The problem with this is that it becomes habit forming, and then you expect others to accept your shortcomings the same way that you embrace them. There have been times when I didn't have $1 to my name, but I had something just as valuable. I had my word, and just like my boss, I wasn't going to break my word. Still to this day of the publishing of this book, I still have my word in good standing with any and everybody I have ever done business with, and I still have my balls. When your word is good as gold, you can always use it as a bargaining tool to come up again on any given day. Make the decision to keep your word impeccable. Most people who don't succeed in life have every excuse in the world to back up their failures. Excuses are monuments of the incompetent. Those who dwell within them will settle for anything. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't make any excuses. The more successful a person is, you will find that the less inclined that person is to make excuses. Ray Charles could have made an excuse not to play the piano because he was blind, but he didn't. Barack Obama could have made an excuse not to run for president because he was black, but he didn't. Kennedy may have said he couldn't be president because he was too young, but he didn't. Martin Luther King Jr. had plenty of excuses he could have used to start shooting a gun and result to violence, but he didn't. All of these are examples of great people who put their mind to do something they said they would do, and they followed through with their word without making any excuses to not follow through. In life, there are not any ties. You either win or you lose. Losers don't keep their word. Winners do. Develop the qualities within yourself that will make you a winner. Call to action. Think of something that you have been telling yourself for a while now that you wanted to do. Write it down. Now think of something that you have been telling someone else that you was going to do for them. Write it down. If you haven't grabbed a writing utensil and wrote it down yet, then you are not ready for the next part of this call to action. Now here's the next part. Do whatever it is that you wrote down today. At least get started on it. Did you know? It is quite common to find inmates in federal prison who are there because of the false testimony of a convicted felon who is trying to get a sentence reduction. Drug agents themselves will even fake investigative reports and give false testimony to make sure their target is convicted. Law number 25. Your only friend is the dollar. But money answereth all things. Ecclesiastes 10:19. Rap-A-Lot rap artist Zero said it best in a previous recorded song. Ain't no such thing as friends, only associates. If you are involved in any type of illegal hustling or on the streets looking to find real friends and love, I can assure you that you are in the wrong business and line of work. Your only true friend in the underworld is the dollar. Preferably the dollar with the big-headed dead inventor on it known as Benjamin Franklin. He is the only friend who will almost always be able to get you out of any problem or situation you face in the shrewd game of hustling. Don't ever let anyone fuck over your one and only true friend in the game. Your friend is your ultimate motivation. He is the only one besides God Almighty who can provide you with almost everything you want in life. The only catch is that you have to work and hustle for him, and in return, he will work for you. Guard him with your life and be careful how you handle him. If you never appreciate and respect him, he will not respect you. If you respect him, he will respect you back. If you show gratitude for him, your relationship with him will exceed in abundance. He is ultimately the only guy in the game who you must remain cool with at all times. Everyone else who you encounter in business are merely business associates. They may seem to be your friends, but if a situation ever occurs when you are stuck between a rock and a hard place, you will find out who your real friends are. Many of the women I've dated in the past would always ask me, who are your friends and where are they? Because they always saw me rolling solo or either with another woman on my side. It's not that I'm not a sociable guy. It's not that I don't have real friends. It's just that I learned at an earlier age than most that I didn't have many true friends. The first time I was incarcerated, I was 18 and returned home to society at the age of 23. Although I met a network of good men from different parts of the country while in federal prison, I sure in the hell didn't go around looking to make friends. The homeboys and friends who I hustled with before going to prison who I thought were friends ended up being no real friends at all. Now, one of those guys who I was breaking bread with and hanging around did anything at that time to show me that they were a real friend. Most of them were trying to pick up where I left off. Some were even glad I was gone to try and fit in my shoes to make the money I was making and fuck my ex-girlfriends. I'm not sharing my personal story to look for sympathy or gain credibility. I only share it because it's the truth, and hopefully it will help you see through the lies and false aspirations of some of the people around you who would like you to believe otherwise. The only true friend you have in the game of hustling is the dollar.
Is the money.
Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are or who you will soon become. The minute you settle for less with the company you keep, you will get less than you settled for. This includes relationships. You may know some good people with good hearts, but if they don't have any goals and aren't pushing you to reach your full potential, then you need to learn how to love them from a distance. I was once told a story about an eagle who fell from a nest when it was still a baby into a chicken coop. The eagle walked around the chicken coop for years doing everything the chickens were doing until one day he saw his eagle brothers flying around in the sky. Finally, the eagle said one day to the chickens, "I'm an eagle. I should be in the sky flying with the other eagles." The chickens just looked at him and laughed, saying, "Shut up. You can't fly with them. You a chicken like us." The eagle started flapping his wings, aiming towards the sky, and before he knew it, he was flying. The moral of the story? Either you can be a chicken and keep hanging with the chickens, or spread your wings like the eagle and soar. If you never get rid of the wrong people and the fake friends, you'll deprive yourself from meeting the right people and the real friends. Everything has a season, and sometimes people have seasons too. Sometimes your significant other, such as a girlfriend or a boyfriend, may be the one who is keeping you down and hindering you from becoming successful. You may feel that if you leave a certain person alone, you will be lonely. If you do become lonely, just recognize it will only be seasonal as long as you believe and expect someone better to come along. When one door closes, another one will open. Don't waste your life being a friend to someone who is always holding you down with their depression, doubts, and negativity. Get money. Call to action. Weed out any relationships that are not beneficial to your success. Did you know? Fines may be imposed in almost all cases. They may go as high as several $1 million in larger cases, but as a practical matter, they are rarely imposed. However, the law requires a $100 assessment fee for every felony count a defendant is convicted of, and it is mandatory.
Nigga talking that.
Law number 26.
Talking that top.
Don't just wish. Make a plan.
Man.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. James 1:8. Most of us have heard the saying, a person who fails to plan is planning to fail. In the game of hustling, it's imperative to have a solid plan of action to follow, or else you will find yourself doing a lot of wishful thinking and falling into a cycle of disappointments. Every house and piece of architecture that is built has a blueprint to follow. Imagine how long it would take to build a house and how awful it would look if a project manager or carpenter didn't first have a blueprint to follow. It's the same way in the game. You must realize this in your life, your business, your investments, and your time that you are dealing with. All of these things will be off balance and dismantled if you don't have a plan. That's why you must be serious. Think in terms of slavery. Before President Lincoln freed the slaves, Black people wished every day of their lives that they would one day be free. They prayed and prayed until their prayers were finally answered. The only problem they faced when they were finally freed from their master was many of them didn't have a plan. They had nowhere to go. Without a plan, you can imagine that most of them had no choice but to go right back to their masters and slave for them with willingness to make a minimum income.
You want to know why you know this is true? Excuse me, y'all. Think about them young guys that broke out in New Orleans. This is why niggas was found sleeping on bus stops and stuff, because they had no plan after they broke out. It wasn't no plan. They didn't plan to do that. That shit just was the spur of the moment happen. Some spur of the moment thing happened. What you gonna do after you break out? That's why niggas was getting caught sleeping on bus stops, man. Nigga had no plan afterwards. These are facts, man. Had no plan afterwards, bro.
That was hundreds of years ago. But we see this type of situation still happening amongst us today in modern times. There are guys serving lengthy prison sentences, doing years, and they do not make valuable use of their time to plan. The only thing that they know is they just want to go home, be free, and somehow be rich one day. While serving time in prison, it used to really disappoint me to hear some guys say that they would just get out and flip burgers, deliver pizza, or be homeless as long as they could just get out of prison. I very much understand the ideology of wanting to do what's right to be a free man. But what I couldn't understand is how could flipping burgers, delivering pizza, or being homeless be the best idea someone could come up with after having years in confinement to come up with a decent plan. There are all different types of plans you can establish to overcome obstacles and adversity to fulfill your destiny and make progress. If you're overweight, write a plan to lose weight. If you're broke, write a plan on how to accumulate and generate a positive cash flow. If you want to get a bachelor's degree in a specific field, how do you plan on acquiring the specific knowledge and education it takes to get it? Maybe you want to be an actor, actress, famous singer, or rapper. What's your plan to achieve your desire? Even a criminal who wants to eventually live a criminal-free lifestyle and become a law-abiding citizen needs to make a precise plan on how to accomplish that. Taking the first step of planning is significant, but the next step is just as important. You have to execute that plan, whatever it may be. Many people have been taught to make positive affirmations, believing they can speak things into existence. Although this has partial truth, it's not the complete truth. It's not enough to say something wishing it to come to pass without taking the steps it takes to get it.
Yeah.
The laws of the universe are inseparable. You reap what you sow, and faith without works is dead. It's nearly impossible to say that you will achieve something, but you're doing absolutely nothing to achieve it. Positive affirmations are good, but when followed with declarations with a call to action, they become much more powerful.
Yeah.
That's exactly the reason why each law listed in his book has a call to action for you to do. A wish is nothing more than a desire, but a plan is a method on how to accomplish their desire.
Exactly.
Some people think if they had more money, they could develop a better plan. The truth of the matter is that if you had a better plan, then you would have more money. There were days that I made some extremely large amounts of cash.
Hey, boy, man, this shit right here, this right here. Man, they can sleep all they want to. Let them sleep, man. Let them sleep. The 6 people that's listening, You know this is real. This shit is real, dog. Like this guy right here, man, shout out, man. Dog, this the best money I ever spent.
The game in a matter of 10 minutes or less. The part that took the longest was planning out the safest scenario to make the deal, and then, of course, counting the money I made to make sure it wasn't short. Planning out the deal was probably the most important task. Nothing is for certain in the game. You should have more than a plan A. You need a plan B and maybe even a plan C. Remember to have a plan in case something goes wrong. Even if you implement every law in this book, nothing is promised to you except prison if you are caught breaking the law with an illegitimate hustle. Call to action. Write down your plan. Memorize what you have written and repeat it many times daily as a prayer. End the prayer by expressing gratitude for having received that for which your plan calls. Did you know? You may be convicted in a conspiracy by engaging in what is called jointly undertaking criminal activity. In the guidelines, it is explained like this. A jointly undertaking criminal activity is a criminal plan, scheme, endeavor, or enterprise undertaken by the defendant in concert with others, whether or not charged as a conspiracy. In the case of a jointly undertaken criminal activity, a defendant is accountable for the conduct, acts, and omissions of others that was both in furtherance of the jointly undertaken criminal activity and reasonably foreseeable in connection with that criminal activity.
Meaning that it can charge you in a certain other type of RICO or some shit, that they can charge you for shit that other people did. You get what I'm saying? They can charge you for that nigga bricks up, what that nigga did in the street. That shit crazy. Because y'all all in together like some gang shit. Man.
But 27, set goals and remake them. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. Philippians 4:6. Where do you want to be 18 months from now? 5 years from now? 10 years from now? What's your plan? What steps are you taking to get there? If you have a plan in the game, it's understood that you must have a goal. Otherwise, there would be nothing to plan or hope for to begin with. You must be able to work toward a SMART goal so that you don't find yourself wishful thinking and living in a fantasy world. I use the word SMART in this chapter as an acronym in reference to your goal being specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time. Specific meaning you know exactly what you want and you can visualize getting it. Measurable meaning you can pretty much calculate how long it will take to reach this goal following your plan. The goal must be achievable to the point you are not raising the bar too high, knowing you don't have the skills or resources to make it possible. It also has to be a realistic goal. Don't come up with something that is not even remotely possible of happening that you read in a fiction book or saw in a movie made in the 80s. The goal must last, but not least, be timed, meaning you have a deadline on which you wish to reach it. If you have a SMART goal, and you carry out an effective and sufficient plan to reach it, your goal can and will be accomplished. That's why it's important to remake goals. Once you reach your goals in the game, you never want to become too content and complacent to the point where you feel like you have made it to the top and have nothing else to strive for. If you develop this kind of attitude, it could possibly be your downfall. You must always stay hungry. This type of hunger is what makes P. Diddy, Jay-Z, and Master P the top richest rappers in the rap game. They never stop working towards success no matter how many millions they're worth. They always have new goals to accomplish. Somebody is always doing worse than you, so be thankful for what you have. But somebody is always doing better than you too. Recognize that as a motivating factor to raise your standards and set a higher bar for yourself in the game. Dream big. If you don't have a dream, how can you expect it to come true? The best way to see your future is to create it. When your goals are well-defined, you don't need a psychic to tell you where you will be in a year or 5 years. You become your own psychic. You tap into your inner power and approach your future with anticipation instead of apprehension, knowing that you will receive what you put your energy into. Every individual is the author of their own destiny. A well-defined goal works like a magnet and attracts opportunities, pulling you into that direction. People without goals merely ride a wave through life. Decide exactly what it is that you want. When you know what it is, you will find a way to get it. If you don't know where you're going in life, any road you take will get you there because you lost without any destination in mind. Many people who are caught up in illegal hustling often go to prison and become a statistic or get killed in their line of work because they only want to make fast money. But they never have a realistic amount of money in mind with an exit plan. You only get one shot at living your life. No do-overs or retakes. Stay focused on your goals. Playing Madden, staying on Facebook all day, texting and talking on the phone for hours with people who are not going anywhere will not help you reach your goals. You can be talented, but you will never reach your full potential until you're disciplined when it comes to know how you spend your time. Your days are numbered. Don't waste your time pleasing every critic and trying to diffuse every conflict with everybody, especially when they're not assets to your goals. Some people aren't worth your time. No matter what you do for some people, it will never be enough. Don't allow yourself to hang around people who aren't goal-oriented or don't have any discipline and distract you from your definite purpose. Call to action. Follow this precise formula for achieving your goals. Number 1, write out a clear statement of what you desire most and the one thing or circumstance which, after you attain it, would, in your opinion, make you successful. Number 2, write a clear outline of the plan by which you intend to attain this objective and clearly state what you intend to give in return. Number 3, set a definite time limit within which you intend to acquire the object of your definite purpose. Did you know the normal rate of pay for an appointed attorney is $110 an hour with a $7,000 maximum per case? Law number 28, grind like there's no tomorrow. Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. Proverbs 20:13. If you have a goal today that says you sell 5 candy bars and you only sell 2, then you are behind 3 candy bars today. If you plan to save $20 today and you don't save 1, then you are behind $20 today. If you plan to get 10 followers on your social media page today and only get 1, then you lost 9 followers today. One day might not seem like much, but when that day adds up to a week, and that week adds up to a month and years, you will see how much you've lost in a lifetime for not making the most of today. On the other hand, if you go beyond your quota, you will also see the benefits in the same manner. There are 2 types of people who fail. Those who don't do what they're told to do, and those who never do more than what they're told to do. Don't worry about winning tomorrow. Tomorrow isn't promised to you. You must learn how to win today. Don't just cross the finish line either. I'm talking about winning first place with flying colors. Go hard or go home. As with any other business, you must be willing to give all you have in order to succeed. No matter what you decide to do in life, whatever you put into something is what you're going to get back. The game is no exception. If you pussyfoot on your grind, you can expect to get pussyfoot results. If you put positive energy into your grind, then you can expect to get positive results. When you walk out your house in the morning with the mind of a hustler, you should walk out putting your best foot forward to go back in the house and lay your lazy ass back in the bed. Nothing comes to a dreamer but a dream. There's no promise that just because you work in the field of fast money, everything will always come easy. In all honesty, the heart and drive of a hustler defines him and sets him apart as being a real hustler over a lazy person who hustles. I've seen all types of hustlers. Your physical appearance has nothing to do with the drive you possess in your heart. I've seen some big overweight guys who would put in more footwork and outgrind some skinny, healthy hustlers any day of the week. I've also seen fat, lazy hustlers who expect everything just to fall in their lap for free. Imagine a bank deposits $86,400 in your bank account every day, but it clears at midnight without allowing what's not spent to go over to the next day. You continue to wake up to only $86,400 each day. No rollovers. It's the same with time. You get 86,400 seconds a day. What you don't spend wisely, you cannot get back. You can't get back the same 86,400 seconds you had yesterday, but you can live with what you make today. Make the most of today. You make a double up, learn to make that double up double, and make that double up triple. You ain't grinding unless you tired. Real hustlers don't sleep, we take cat naps. At times I wouldn't sleep until my body shut down. That's not a healthy way of living and I don't advise it. But at some point before you see your vision coming to fruition, you will need to grind harder than the average person. Besides, if you're going to bed broke at night, you don't deserve to sleep. Even when I sleep, I tend to dream of working and counting money. I don't need drugs or caffeine to stay amped up. It has always been my drive to succeed that keeps me going. Real hustlers have this magic energy inside of us called passion. Call to action. Imagine that this is your last day to live. Take action to do the things that will require your family or the ones you love to be in a financially secure place, even after you are gone. Did you know? America imprisons 756 inmates per 100,000 residents, a rate nearly 5 times the world's average. About 1 in every 31 adults in this country is in jail or on supervised release. Either we are the most evil people on earth, or we are doing something very wrong. Waco Tribune, Herald, March 29, 2009. Law number 29, stay motivated. Pray without ceasing. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Whatever information you find valuable and motivational in this book, please highlight it. As a matter of fact, write it down somewhere or take a picture. It doesn't make a difference. Just make sure you apply it to your life and stay motivated. Maybe when you started hustling, there was an older hustler or some experienced hustler or business owner who motivated you to want to be financially free. If you haven't already excelled past your icon, get ready to, because once you implement the laws within this book, it will happen soon. When that takes place, you must continue to stay motivated. We all have different things that motivate us. It could be your kids. It could be your wife or your gold-digging girlfriend. Maybe your motivation is your brother, father, your hobby, passion, or biggest desire. It could even be that BMW, Cadillac, or Mercedes-Benz. Whatever the case may be, money is always the primary motivation, and as long as you can count your money, you always have room to make more. Since you always have room to make more money, go and make some more. If you hang around a bunch of broke people, you will find yourself living in the same bracket as they are. If you surround yourself with people with poor mentalities, you will soon develop the same type of mind frame. You must surround yourself with people who can motivate you and support you to get to the next level. These may not always be people who can help you directly, but their presence in your life and the motivation they give you alone will help you to seek out the people who can. If you are always the richest person around, you need to find some new people to mingle with who are richer than you are. Even after sharing my beliefs, experiences, and wisdom in this book, it is still on the individual who reads everything I'm sharing to motivate themselves. I can't change you. Nobody can. Only you can do that. Some people want to take the steps it takes to succeed, but they don't want to succeed bad enough to the point where they start taking the steps. This leads to procrastination. Procrastination seems minor at the moment until one day you're about to die and realize that you wasted your whole life not getting started and doing what it was that you wanted to do. Personal initiative is the only cure for procrastination. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one footstep. On the other hand, you have some people who are enthusiastic and self-motivated, with the desire so strong to accomplish their goals that they reach them every time. There's no reason to point blame when all you have to do is look within yourself. No one can make you want better for yourself. You have to want it. You have to want it so much that you pump yourself up every morning with positive self-talk with the intention of getting the desires of your heart. Real hustlers don't wait for success. We get started without it. Don't wait for a title or position to validate who you are. Be passionate about what it is you want and power up. There will be times that things don't go as smooth as you like, but let your mistakes be your motivation, not your excuses. Call to action. Drive through a wealthy neighborhood viewing the scenery of $1 million real estate properties. Drive to a luxury car lot and visualize yourself driving one of the cars there. Pick up a Forbes magazine next time you're in Walmart and scroll through the pages and picture yourself there. Doing things like this will keep you motivated. Did you know? If you successfully complete a year or more on supervised release without any problems and in full compliance with your conditions of federal supervised release, you can make a motion for early termination of your supervised release term. Law number 30. Know who you are dealing with. Don't just stay ahead, stay 2 steps ahead. There's no way to stay 2 steps ahead of the next man if you don't even know who the next man is. Before you do business or go to war with somebody, you better know who you are dealing with. No 2 people on earth are exactly the same. Everyone has their own fingerprint and no 2 are identical. You might meet someone in business who reminds you of someone else. Just because that person reminds you of an individual doesn't mean that they are anything alike. Before you make the mistake of passing judgment on a person, whether good or bad, try to get to know who they are on an individual basis. Before you test somebody, it will be in your best interest to study them first and do your homework. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't mistake the wolf for the sheep and mistake the sheep for being a wolf. A wolf can sometimes be dressed in sheep's clothing. Don't be deceived. Pay extra attention to how people deal with hardship, financial struggles, and disappointments in life, because these are the times that will usually reveal a person's genuine identity and character. If you handle someone in the game of hustling incorrectly without knowing what kind of characteristics that person possesses, you might be in for a rude awakening. Everyone may have similarities, but everyone is still unique. The quietest one in the room could be the most dangerous, and the loudest one in the room is often the weakest. Anytime a person speaks out loud, listen. And anytime a person makes a move, watch and pay attention. Don't let nobody miss you with shit, because as soon as you do, they will begin to run circles around your ass. Even a gorilla pimp who is all muscle with no brains has enough sense not to hustle a hoe before drilling her and finding out what kind of credentials she has as a worthy prostitute. In the game of hustling, you may not drill a player in the same fashion that a pimp does a hoe, but you should still interview that individual like they're coming to work for a multi-million-dollar business and you are a chief executive operator. No matter what type of employer you are, conduct an interview before hiring, asking as many questions as possible. Analyze the character of your prospect and don't just trust their resume alone. It is pertinent to know who you are dealing with, because the people who you deal with on a normal basis can and will also have an effect on you if you aren't conscious of their influence. The influence of our associates are so subtle and strong that we hardly recognize how they impel us. If you hang with an alcoholic, you soon will take a drink. If you hang with a smoker, you soon will smoke. If you keep dealing with a crook or cheater, you soon will cheat and become crooked. Maybe you've heard the story about the man and a snake. The man was holding his hand crying, trying to stop the bleeding. His wife came outside and asked, "Honey, what's wrong?" The man showed her his hand where his fingers were bleeding with the imprint of a snake bite. "Now I see why you crying," said his wife. "You crying because you got bit by a snake." "No," replied the man sadly. "I'm not crying because I got bit by a snake. I'm crying because I let him." Call to action. Any and everything you want to know about somebody who you do business with, ask them before doing any business. Do your homework on that person. Did you know? If you are out on bail, you can ask for self-surrender to the Federal Bureau of Prisons as part of your plea agreement. Law number 31. Earn your respect. But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first, and also to the Gentile. For there is no respect of persons with God. Romans 2:10-11. Earning your respect is just as important as earning your money. Why? Because respect is a characteristic trait, and the characteristics and qualities of a wealthy hustler are more valuable in life than the wealth itself, particularly when it comes to currency. Having $1 million isn't more valuable than the values a person must acquire to accumulate the $1 million. Why do you think so many people who get lucky and get rich don't stay rich? It's more than likely because they never had the attitude of a rich person before they got the money. However, if you take $1 million from a millionaire who earned it, they will still have the knowledge it took to get it and can get it again and again many times over through a lifetime. When you take a rational self-analysis at yourself and develop the skills, wisdom, discipline, and qualities of a leader, you will ultimately earn the respect that's necessary in your line of business. All the information in this book may not pertain directly to hustling, but all of these fundamental laws mentioned may be used in life in general. Law number 31 is a perfect example. Respect is not given to everyone, and before you give respect, you must give respect. Keep in mind that everyone you respect will not always want to respect you back. However, if you earn your respect, it won't matter if they like it or not, they must give it to you. Back in my gangbanging days as a teenager, I hung on the corner of 11th Street with the Blood Gang in Orange, Texas. I was young and started to make a name for myself in the streets by hanging out with other gangsters and engaging in criminal misconduct. One day, a rival gang member from school came rolling through the neighborhood on a beach cruiser. I never was a big person physically, but I thank God for blessing me with an enormous heart. I was extremely little around this time, and even though me and this other guy from the rival Crip gang was roughly the same age, he was twice my size. When he rolled up on me and my homies, it was clear he wasn't talking to us, but he was talking directly at me with obvious disrespect, assuming I would let him punk me out. I never said a word back to him as he stood there talking trash. I just looked him in his eyes, and as I made up in my mind that as soon as he stopped talking, I was gonna try to kick his ass regardless of the size disadvantage. Before he could get back on his bike good to pedal off, I swung and punched him dead in the face with the hardest punch my arm would throw. We began a fight, and guess what? I got knocked the fuck out. I lost the battle, but I won my respect. I made it a point that I wasn't gonna let anybody, regardless of their size, talk to me crazy and disrespect me. Losing a fight wasn't fun, and it's not something I'm proud to mention, but the loss was liberating to realize that I could take a loss just as well as a win to live to fight another day. Earning my respect was the ultimate victory. About a couple weeks later after the incident, I had a so-called homeboy who took a pack from me while we were hustling on the corner and ran off with it. Whether he took it as a joke or not, I didn't think the shit was funny at all. I went to the block where I knew I would find this fool trying to sell my shit. It was my big homie Mute, R.I.P., who saw the rage in my eyes as he saw me coming up the street and asked me, "What's the problem?" I told him what had happened. I also told him that I didn't really want to fuck my so-called homeboy up on the street. We were from the same hood and was considered homies. But I wanted my pack back, and I was furious he didn't respect me. The big homie Mute looked me in my eyes and said, "I don't care who it is. If someone don't respect you, make them respect you." That was my green light. I caught up with this guy 2 minutes later coming up the block and proceeded to beat the brakes off his ass until he came up off my dope. Needless to say, my bob and weave game had improved a lot better after getting beat up a couple weeks earlier. Once again, I earned my respect as I have continued to do on countless occasions since my days of a juvenile. I don't care who you are. I refuse to let anyone take anything from me or disrespect me without standing up for myself. If people don't respect you when they rob you in the game of hustling and you let them get away with it, hustlers and jackals will be standing in line waiting for a turn every time you come up to take from you. Call to action. Earn your respect. Give respect to everyone you know, and always have respect for yourself first, because people will view you according to how you view yourself. Did you know? In a majority of Texas state prisons, you will be tested by inmates and required to fight before you can do your time with any kind of comfort. In higher security federal prisons, you are expected to ride with your car, or a gang and have to be accepted in to benefit from the protection and peculiarities it provided. Law number 32. Lead by example. In John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, he calls this 13th law the law of the picture, because people do what they see. If you are reading this book, then you are already on the right track, because most leaders are readers. Leaders usually can lead others because they know what to do or either what not to do. Most of the knowledge usually comes from personal experience or reading about someone else's. Even if a leader doesn't read, he or she is most likely skilled by listening from the experiences of others. After all, there are many audio books today which are just as resourceful as a regular book. But a good leader must be nourished in some type of mental capacity in order for others to follow. Change the thinking at the top and you automatically change the thinking at the bottom. To achieve high-level success, it requires the support and cooperation of others. You don't get pulled to high-level success, but you are lifted there by those who work on side and under you. If you are placed in a position of leadership, people will do as you do and not as you say, no matter what it is that you tell them. Do what you would like to see your followers do. I can recall a time when I worked as a safety supervisor inside of a refinery. All I had to do was conduct safety audits for a scaffolding company without doing any hard labor besides giving safety meetings and picking up a pen. Despite my required work duties, I would often go around on the construction site and work as a helper in a safe manner to motivate the other workers to do the same. After helping them for only a few minutes, I would walk away and observe how they would be working more safer and efficiently just from me setting an example to follow in only a few moments. I didn't even have to say anything. It was the example that I led that mattered. The only way for a follower to get promoted to the next level is to observe, listen, and learn from the superior in charge. Whether you like it or not, we are all leaders in some form or capacity because there's always someone watching us. The streets are watching and they never stop. Not only are they watching, but they are talking. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. If you are the team captain of your team and some players are the weakest links, you can expect your chain to break. As iron sharpens iron, so does the man of a man sharpen the mind of another man. The blind cannot lead the blind. All hustlers may not be good leaders. Some are followers, but it doesn't matter. You can still apply the laws in this book as a follower and beat the statistics. Besides, before being a good leader, at some point you still must first be a good follower. No matter whether you are a leader or a follower, everybody has to answer to somebody. Even if you are a follower, there will be somebody following you, which makes you a leader. Both leaders and followers must recognize that people do what they see and lead by example. Ask yourself, what kind of example are you setting? As the saying goes, practice what you preach. Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. Call to action. Don't expect anyone to conform to your way of doing things if you are not doing them yourself. Be the change in the world that you would like to see. Did you know? In November 2009, the U.S. Supreme Court tossed out convicted murderer George Porter's death sentence because his Florida jury wasn't told of the Korean War vets' combat-induced post-traumatic stress syndrome. Law number 33, be powerful through presence. And again, he entered into Capernaum after some days, and it was noised that he was in a house. Mark 2:1. The three things in the game of hustling that will have you eating right is money, power, and respect. Many people are willing to die for their money and respect, but they forget the power of having power. Even without money or respect, a person with power has the capability of acting or producing an effect with influence or authority over others. If I possess certain powers, you might disrespect me or even try to steal my money, but that does nothing in regard to diminishing my power. I will still have it. Having power can have the person who disrespected me and tried to steal my money wishing they were never born once I use it. Having power in a certain field can give the opportunity to come up or fall off in a matter of days or hours with one phone call. Everybody doesn't possess the same powers. Some of us are more powerful than others in different areas. Know what power you possess and use it to your advantage. Whatever your power may be, you don't have to go around bragging about it. Just use it. When a king steps into a room, he doesn't have to walk around screaming, "I am the king." You know he is a king and can feel that he is the king through his presence, even if he isn't wearing a crown on his head. You don't have to fit in with the crowd to blend in and still stand out. While doing time in prison, I can recall how every inmate wore the same clothes. It didn't matter who you were on the streets, you had to dress exactly like every other inmate. I'm sure that the Department of Justice made it to be that way, not only to take away the freedom of choices an inmate can make, but to also rob him of his personal identity. Although it probably works for some, it has no effect on a man who knows who he is, especially when he's powerful. A real boss, a real hustler, and a real leader will stand out in a crowd full of people dressed exactly the same way because of their presence and outward conduct that they display. When the lieutenant is with his troops in the battlefield going to war, he is camouflaged like the rest of his platoon. In spite of how he looks, he is still the lieutenant, and when he makes a command, his troops listen and follow his orders.
Big dog status, Bill Hubble. I bought Lennox Mall for my brothers. Whole yard bag, tote the cutter. I got it out the field, fuck Russell. Going ask Lori about the paddock, and going ask Jordan, that's dead. Philippe water trying to drown a bitch. It's a habit tricking on a bitch. Shit, I'm thinking I'm clipping a pimp. Shit, I'm cooking up dope like a dump. Shit, like her first gon' sit nigga trim. Shit, I'm floating, I'm out in the blimp. Shit, it look like I'm swimming in glass. Shit, I turn on my bitch cause she bad. Shit, I'm making my ex nigga mad. Shit, they go for them coming for man. Real nigga learn them, wearing a bag. Piping a bitch and they nail like I can. Turn up the shooters with switches go bad. Stay with some scammers, my dog was a pain. Clapping no rap and my dog, he fall off. No capping, no bound.